It was supposed to be the perfect day. My birthday. A day I had looked forward to for weeks. I'd planned everything, the decorations, the music, even the guest list. It was going to be small, just close friends, a few drinks, nothing over the top. I wanted good vibes, laughter, maybe even a few surprises. But never in my wildest thoughts did I expect her to show up. And now, I can't stop replaying that night in my head, every smile, every word, every second, wondering where it all started going wrong. She wasn't even invited. That's the craziest part. My best friend, Maya, brought her along, said she didn't want to leave her alone because she had just gone through a breakup. I didn't think much of it at the time. I figured, what's one more person? If anything, I felt kind of bad for her. She walked in, confident but quiet, with this strange calm energy around her. Her name was Lena. Short black dress, soft voice, polite smile, the kind of girl who doesn't say much but sees everything. I greeted her, offered her a drink, and tried to make her feel included. I had no idea the chaos that would follow. Everyone was enjoying themselves. We had music playing low, some friends sitting on the floor with slices of cake, others out on the balcony talking and laughing. It was chill, just how I wanted it. But from the corner of my eye, I kept noticing Lena. Not doing anything weird, just watching. She barely spoke to anyone unless spoken to, but every time I looked her way, she was already looking at me. Not in a flirtatious way. It was something else. Something I couldn't place. Then little things started happening. My phone went missing for a while. A drink I hadn't touched suddenly spilled across the kitchen counter. Maya's boyfriend found a strange message sent from his phone that he swore he didn't type. It felt like small accidents at first. But when my childhood photo frame shattered out of nowhere and the candles I'd lit started flickering wildly even though no windows were open, that's when the mood shifted. People started to leave early, one by one. Even Maya looked uncomfortable. But Lena stayed. Calm. Smiling faintly. Like she knew something none of us did. And then she handed me a small, square box. Wrapped in black paper, no tag, no name. Just said, "Happy birthday." I hesitated to open it. Something about it felt wrong. Everyone had already left. It was just me and her now, and the silence in the room was almost heavy. I should have never opened it. But I did. And that's when everything changed. What was inside that box still haunts me. And if I had known what she really came for, I swear, I would have never let her in. I slowly peeled the black wrapping off the box, my hand slightly trembling. Inside was a folded note sitting on top of something wrapped in tissue. The handwriting on the note was sharp and clean, almost too perfect. It read, "It's time you remember what you forgot." I stared at the words for a long second, confused. I hadn't forgotten anything. At least, that's what I thought. Lena just stood there, arms crossed, eyes locked on me like she was watching a performance unfold exactly as planned. "Go on," she said, her voice low, almost soothing. I pulled the tissue back and found a small, old music box. It looked dusty and used, the kind of thing you'd find in a forgotten attic. I didn't recognize it. Or maybe I didn't want to. Still, something about it felt strangely familiar, like it belonged to a part of my life I had shut away. I turned the little key on the side, and it began playing a melody that made my stomach drop. The tune was faint, eerie, but heartbreakingly beautiful. And just like that, images started flashing in my head. A house I hadn't been to in years. A girl crying in a hallway. A door that was always locked. My chest tightened, and I had to sit down. It felt like the room tilted for a second. Lena knelt in front of me, her expression finally changing. There was no calmness now. Only intensity. "You promised you'd never forget," she whispered. I couldn't speak. I didn't know what she meant. Or maybe deep down, I did. But I didn't want to face it. That night wasn't just a birthday. It was the return of something, or someone, I had buried long ago. And Lena wasn't just some guest. She was the beginning of the truth. I wanted to ask her what she meant, why she was here now, but the words caught in my throat. My mind raced back to moments I had tried to forget, fragments of a past I'd locked away, thinking it was better that way. Memories of a friendship turned sour, secrets whispered in shadows, and a night I had promised myself to never revisit. Lena's arrival wasn't just coincidence, it was a reckoning. Maya had barely mentioned Lena before tonight, just that she needed someone to lean on after a bad breakup. But now, I wondered how much she really knew about her, and how much Lena was willing to reveal. I remembered how Maya's smile had faltered several times that evening, a flicker of worry behind her eyes whenever Lena was around. Were they connected by something deeper, something I wasn't ready to face? The music box's melody filled the room again, soft but haunting, pulling me back into those old emotions. I looked at Lena, searching her face for answers, but all I saw was a calm determination, like she had come prepared to unearth whatever I was hiding. "Why bring this here?" I finally managed to whisper. She tilted her head, eyes glinting with something unreadable. "Because you owe it to yourself to remember. To face it." Her words felt like a challenge, a dare wrapped in kindness that made my skin crawl. Outside, the night air pressed against the windows, heavy and silent, as if the world was holding its breath. The other guests had long gone, but here I was, caught in a web I didn't understand. The birthday celebration had turned into a test, one where the stakes were more than just my night, they were about my past, my secrets, and what I had tried so hard to bury. And now, with Lena here, nothing would stay buried for long. The room felt colder now, even though the lights were still on, casting long shadows on the walls. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears, louder than the fading notes of the music box. Lena's eyes never left me, steady and unblinking, like she was waiting for something, or waiting for me to break. I wanted to stand up, to shut this all down, but my legs felt glued to the floor. The past was creeping back into the present, dragging me under with every passing second. Suddenly, my phone buzzed on the table. A message from Maya. It wasn't like her, just one word, run. My breath caught. Was she warning me? Or was this some cruel game? The unease twisting inside me grew heavier, as if the walls were closing in. Lena smiled, a thin, knowing smile that made my skin crawl. I glanced back at the music box. The melody had stopped, but the air around it felt charged, like it was waiting for something to happen next. I reached out, hesitant, and lifted the lid again. Inside, a tiny photo slipped out, a picture of me, but much younger, standing beside a girl I barely recognized. It was faded and worn, edges curled, but the eyes staring back at me were impossible to forget. "Who is she?" I whispered, panic rising. Lena's voice dropped to a whisper, too. "She's why I'm here. And why you're about to remember everything." The room spun, and for a moment, I thought I might pass out. I wanted answers, but fear kept me frozen. What had I buried so deeply that Lena had to come all this way to drag it back? What secrets were hidden behind that smile and those quiet eyes? The birthday celebration had turned into a nightmare, one I couldn't wake up from. And as the clock ticked forward, I knew the moment of truth was coming, the moment where everything would change. But was I ready for what lay ahead? Just as I was about to ask Lena what that photo meant, my front door creaked open. My heart leapt into my throat. I hadn't heard anyone come in. I wasn't expecting anyone else. I looked toward the hallway, but it was empty, no footsteps, no shadow. But the door was definitely ajar now, swinging slightly with a soft breeze. Panic bubbled up inside me. Had someone else come in? Was this part of the twisted game Lena was playing? Before I could move, my phone buzzed again. Another message from Maya, but this time it was a photo, a screenshot of my own birthday group chat. The conversation was full of confusion, people asking if I was okay, saying that someone had sent strange messages from my phone, messages I hadn't typed. My stomach dropped. I hadn't noticed my phone had gone missing earlier, but now everything was clicking into place. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. Lena's calm exterior began to crack just a little, a flicker of urgency flashing in her eyes. "They're watching," she said quietly, almost too low to hear. "You're not alone in this." I wanted to ask who they were, but my voice was stuck somewhere between fear and disbelief. Who was they? And why was I suddenly in the middle of something far bigger than a birthday party gone wrong? The air felt heavier, charged with a tension I couldn't shake. My mind raced through every detail of the night, the spilled drink, the broken photo frame, the strange messages. What had seemed like small accidents were pieces of a puzzle I hadn't wanted to see. I realized then that Lena hadn't come just to remind me of the past. She'd come to pull me into something I couldn't run from. I wanted to back away, to shut the door, to call Maya and demand answers. But as I looked at Lena, I saw a flicker of sympathy behind that steady gaze. "You need to face this," she said. "Before it's too late." The music box sat between us, silent now, but somehow still holding a power I couldn't explain. I was trapped in a story I hadn't chosen, a twisted celebration that started with a birthday but was turning into a nightmare I might never escape. And with every second ticking by, I wondered, what had I really invited into my life that night? As the night pressed on, the weight of everything crashing down on me, I knew I had to confront the truth. Lena's eyes didn't waver as I finally asked the question burning inside me, "Who is she?" "The girl in the photo?" For a moment, the silence stretched, thick and suffocating, before Lena's voice broke through, steady but heavy with meaning. "That girl was your childhood friend, Emily. The one you lost, and pretended never existed." Memories I had buried deep suddenly flooded back, a friendship cut short by something I refused to face, a secret I convinced myself was better left in the past. Emily wasn't just a name or a memory. She was part of a story I thought I'd escaped. But Lena's arrival, the strange messages, the broken frame, all pieces pointing to the same painful truth. "You forgot because it hurt too much," Lena continued. "But it's not just about remembering. It's about what you did afterward. You turned your back when she needed you the most." Her words cut deeper than I expected. Was it true? Had I really let her down? Had my silence caused more damage than I ever imagined? Suddenly, my phone lit up again, this time a video message. It was from Maya, shaky and whispered, "You have to see this." Hesitant, I pressed play. The footage showed Emily, standing outside my old house, rain pouring down, tears streaking her face. She called my name, begging for help, but the door never opened. The video ended abruptly, but the message was clear, I had turned away. My chest tightened with guilt and fear. Lena's voice softened. "I'm here because Emily's story isn't over. Neither is yours." Before I could process, the door slammed shut behind me. I spun around, but no one was there. Just the music box, now glowing faintly, its melody starting again on its own. Then the final shock, Lena's face shifted, the polite mask slipping away to reveal someone else entirely, Emily herself. "I never left," she said, voice low and haunting. "I've been waiting for you to remember." The birthday celebration had twisted into something I couldn't escape, and the truth I ran from was standing right in front of me. And in that moment, I realized the celebration was never about a birthday. It was a reckoning. For a moment, I stood frozen, unable to believe what I was seeing. Emily, or the person I thought was Lena, was there, right in front of me, a living reminder of the past I had tried so hard to erase. The room felt suffocating, filled with the weight of memories and regrets I had pushed deep inside for years. I wanted to deny it, to turn away, but I couldn't. Not this time. She didn't yell or blame me. Instead, there was a quiet sadness in her eyes, a hope that I would finally understand why she had come back. "I didn't want to hurt you," she said softly, "but I needed you to remember. To face what happened. Only then could we both move on. The pieces started falling into place. The small accidents, the strange messages, the eerie music box, it was all her way of reaching out, trying to break through the walls I had built. Maya had known, but like me, she didn't know how to fix what was broken. That night, she had brought Lena, or rather Emily in disguise, to remind me that the past doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. I sat down, my mind racing but clearer than it had been in years. I realized that sometimes, the hardest part isn't remembering the pain, but admitting it. The birthday celebration wasn't just a party, it was a chance to face the truth, to heal wounds left open for too long. By the time dawn crept in, I felt something shift inside me. The heaviness had lifted, replaced by a quiet resolve to make things right, not just with Emily, but with myself. Forgiveness wouldn't come overnight, but this was the first step. As Emily's figure faded with the morning light, I knew the twisted celebration had changed me forever. I had come face to face with the past, with the secrets and mistakes I thought would define me. But now, I understood that remembering was not weakness, it was strength. And that's the story of how a simple birthday turned into a journey of truth, regret, and unexpected healing. Sometimes, the people who come into your life uninvited aren't there to ruin your day, they're there to remind you what really matters. 59.